What happens when a king loses his crown and his head? Find out in today's big question. Was Louis XVI, the last king of France, ever really the same after he lost his crown? Well, not exactly. You see, after the storming of the Bastille in 1789, the people of France decided they didn't want a king at all. So they made him wear a very fetching powdered wig and then paraded him around the streets of Paris. And the next year they took it a step further and made him wear the even more fetching blue, red, and green striped hat of a Parisian sans-culotte. And that's what he's wearing in this famous portrait by an artist. No, not Vermeer. It's a Vermeer. No, not that one either. There's a Vermeer. Louis XVI was like, "Whatever you do, don't call me a king." But everyone still called him a king and even tried to make him look like one in paintings, like this one where he's wearing a fancy nightgown and a crown. But he really wanted to be a simpleton wearing a blue, red, and green striped hat. And he wished upon a star that he could just magically disappear. And then, suddenly, poof! He was in front of a revolutionary tribunal being told that he was about to be executed. Louis XVI had been put on trial for treason, and the sentence was a foregone conclusion. The real question was, would he get the electric chair or the guillotine? Well, Louis XVI got the guillotine. And as he rode up to the Place de la Révolution in a carriage with Marie Antoinette, who was also headed to the guillotine, he said to her, "What a fine day this is, and how pleasant the people are." He was actually being sarcastic, but Marie Antoinette didn't get the memo and thought that maybe if they played it cool, they could escape in the carriage to Austria. But then Louis XVI got cold feet and asked for the execution to be postponed until the next day. And so that's what happened. But as the sun rose the next morning, it was clear that Louis XVI had made a terrible mistake. See, the night before, the revolutionaries had taken down the statue of the Sun King, Louis XIV, and put up a new one in its place, a statue of a sans-culotte. And on its base was inscribed the date of the next morning, January 21st, 1793. In other words, they were like, "Hey, we totally might kill the king today," which meant that Louis XVII had two bad options. He could either die on the carriage ride to the guillotine, or he could get his royal head chopped off in public. He chose the latter. And as the blade fell, he reportedly said, "I am going to die an innocent victim for the amusement of a wicked and perverse people." Touching, but also false. Louis XVI had betrayed his people. He'd prostituted his power. He'd tried to escape, and he'd done nothing to earn their love. In fact, it was widely rumored that when Marie Antoinette's head hit the chopping block, she was heard to say, "Let them eat cake." As the crowds jeered and cheered, Louis XVI got the martyr's crown, and Marie Antoinette got the cake. The monarchy was over, and the republic was rising. And in the end, only one guy in a blue, red, and green striped hat was really happy. That's all for this episode. And remember, if you stick around till the end, you'll get extra facts, figures, and tidbits. Today's featured bit is about the guillotine. Did you know that during the French Revolution, there was a balding epidemic among the aristocrats? Why? Well, they were terrified that they would end up on the guillotine. And you know what goes well with a guillotine? A nice cold glass of. What do you think? Was Louis XVI a victim of the revolution, or a king who got what he deserved? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more shocking tales from history.